Так. Hello everybody, so today I prepare here some presentation talking about how to improve. So it's kind of my vision and kind of like my opinion about this topic. So somebody might agree, not agree, find it's like too much or weird, up to you. So here I share my vision how to learn faster, and I think it's like most straightforward, effective and direct way to learn art and improve in art. Так. Let's see. Okay, so beginning. So here, yeah. So like first, like we need to clarify like terms. Let's like make distinctions. So like being creative, is just like it's too general thing. It's just talking about solving problems, finding like innovative solutions. Like when you're experimenting, finding new combinations and stuff like this. So when you're like thinking about being creative, it's just too broad and too vague. Like if you want to be artist, so then you need to be like more precise, talking about tangible stuff. So being artist is about making things. It's about producing kind of stuff, right? So you need to be productive. You need to produce stuff. So here I will do these two separate aspects. One is producing and one is training. So it's kind of how to make your production more, kind of better quality production, right? So in producing, first will be you need to define what is your final kind of product, or I don't know, like art item you want to produce, right? So define clearly what you want to make. And it can be in general. It's like what kind of art you want to do, what kind of art direction, what kind of art form, what kind of like art materials, and in particular when you're talking about like this current project, what kind of art I want to create, what kind of product. It will be like book, or it will be article, or this will be like comic book, like short comic book, or like long one, or series of paintings on a canvas with the oil paint, or you want to make sculptures. So it should be like clear definition, like with the clear characteristics. And it's very nice video from Jake Parker about this, called "You Need Product, Not a Project." So I will write a link in description to video for this, and now let's try to watch part of it here.
Now, I think the number one thing holding back an amateur artist from turning into becoming a professional artist, and even professional artists becoming, breaking out of the mold and trying something new, is that they're not either doing projects or taking projects seriously. And I was just telling him, like, there's certain things you got to do with the project. You got to look at it this way. And he summed it up in 7 words. He said, "You don't need a project, you need a product." And I was like, that's it. That's exactly it. You need a product. And so that's what I want to talk about today, and how if you want to level up as an artist, how do you take on a project? How do you do a project? What exactly is a project? I've got ideas today about I want to talk to you about of what kind of projects you can take on that can level you up. And then how do you actually execute? You've got your idea, you've got your project that you're doing. How do you execute it, and how do you create that final product, something you can hold and something you can show to someone or sell or whatever it is. So,
okay. So yeah, so you can watch Jake Parker, very cool videos. I will give a link in description. So, and then first step, you make clear definition of what is your goal. What is your goal in a like form of art kind of object, right? An art piece, art product, kind of. Second step, just do it, right? Like this, like do it. Yeah. So, and here also interesting think about how to organize your creative work. It's I find interesting video from Dr. Ken Atchity. Also will give link in description. You need to watch it. There's like 10 minutes, so you watch it yourself. You need to have clear time schedule over your artistic goals. So instead of trying to adjust your life and your time for your artistic goals, you adjust your artistic kind of process to your time schedule. So first must be your time frame which you define for your work. So it's like Stephen King, he's like have I forgot like 3 hours or 5 hours, something like this. So he say like every day or every his work day kind of where he write, he has this time frame, and he like trained himself for all this many years he working, like he trained himself to produce exact amount of work in this time frame, and you need to finish your work. Again, depends on what kind of work. Like if you can finish it in one attempt, okay, just finish it in one attempt. If it's not this kind of work, but anyway, like make sure you finish it. Like don't delay it and jump to another work. Just start and finish. And here, let's watch this video from Jack Parker.
Finished, not perfect. I want you to repeat this mantra. Finished, not perfect. Finishing a thing is way more important than having something that's perfect but not finished. One of the best ways to learn how to do something is to actually go out and do it. If you want to draw comics, go draw a comic. If you want to illustrate a picture book, go illustrate a picture book. If you want to be a concept artist for feature films, start designing characters and environments for an animated film that you made up. The key thing there is that you do it, and the most important part is that you finish it. Your finished project, it's probably going to stink, but that's not what's important. What's important is that you have the ability to take an idea from start to finish. If you're worried about perfection, you're worried about it being good, you're going to hate whatever you do perfectly now a year from now. You're not going to like it because you've moved on and you've gotten better. So why should you stress about it being perfect now if you know you're just naturally going to become better in the future? The world wants and it needs people who finish things. So remember that. Part of becoming an amazing artist is having the ability to finish something.
So then let's go. So you make it, so you finish it, right? So you have this exact kind of tangible result, and then you need to analyze it, like kind of like a quality control. You need to check what is here, right? Like after you create it, not in the process, not before you start. Don't like overthink it, right? After. Also, it's like Rick Rubin, I think he say about this. He says like totally two different modes. It's like when you look at your work as an artist and as a viewer. So you can like how you look on your work during process from point of view of artist who creating it, right? And how you perceive your work from like from outside point of view, like a viewer. So, and don't interrupt your process with this kind of like outside vision. Do it when you finish your work. So during process, you need to just be in a flow state, kind of. You need to focus on getting a result, make it done, right? This is your work. You kind of like use all your knowledge, do your best to make best work possible. And after you review it when it's done. So, and how you can look at it, like how you can analyze it, like make a reflection, right? Look at this as a viewer, you can look at this as a buyer or customer, as manager, like boss and stuff like this, you know. So you can have this kind of like personifications kind of from which who might perceive your work. So just being honest with yourself is very important, and having this like roles is also like help you to be specific. Because like as a viewer, like how can you be honest with yourself? It's just like say honestly, like as a art lover, kind of art appreciator, like what kind of art you like? Does your art is really fit to this quality like you kind of expect from others, right? So you can also like compare like your results to other artists, and I mean we're doing this kind of naturally, right? Like but you can do it more consciously, kind of. So here I just give you this more precise kind of points how you can do it. So same as a customer, like I say, because if you want to be professional artist, so it's by definition it's a job, right? So you're creating something like expecting profit or kind of like money in return, so you can live and keep doing this stuff. So you became kind of supplier of art goods, kind of something like this, right? So again, I think like to be honest and to create good quality work, you need also, as a customer yourself, you need to know you are providing good work, you're providing good product. So it's something worth of buying, worth of like something you yourself might buy and put on a wall, or it's some kind of like video tutorial you will pay yourself to watch because it will give you some important information, or it's some book you like to buy, right? So you check your own work from position, from point of view as a customer or buyer, like will you pay for your work? Is it worth money or even attention, you know, of viewer? So, and then you can also review your work and a process as a manager or as a boss. So it's like how efficient your work, you know, like so it's like what is your work ethic, and like how often you watch shorts during work, like do you really focus, or you're just walking around drinking and eating cookies and calling your friends on the phone, like, or you focus and being really industrious productive, right? Also like economy kind of about this, you know, like kind of dodge your work. It's like how much money you spend for art materials, like how much resources, and kind of like how you manage your process in general, right? So it's kind of review your work, creative process, production process as a manager. So, and like I say, it's crucial to be honest and be specific. So, and this kind of feedback loop, this process, basically it's all you need. It's most essential, it's like fastest way to improve, it's most direct and stuff like that, right? So gaining, let's read this, gaining experience in making art products with intent of conducting better, so you need to kind of have this intent to make better and better, create best you can, and also improve, because you always have room to improvement, right? So if you don't have intent to improve, you also are not being honest, kind of. You're just being lazy. So you need to have intent to do best work, to improve, and to do this, you need honestly analyze your work, your process, your results, see what is works, what is not work, keep what is work, and exclude what is not efficient, not work. And just this, in the time, kind of, after years, will lead you to become a master. Even we can say, which is absolutely right, even if you will not like go and learn from anywhere, reading books and stuff, just doing this thing itself, right? Just being honest and really insidious and really hardworking, you will become like absolutely authentic, and you will have something like unique, absolutely unique, because you develop it yourself, and it's kind of grow naturally from actual experience, not from borrowing ideas from others, right? So this feedback loop, like you make thing, you review, make adjustment, and you again make, review, adjust, make, review, adjust. So, but in reality, it's too hardcore. Just being honest, like to do this kind of process, you need to be very talented. You need to be giga chat kind of. You need to be genius. So in reality, actually, we need rely on kind of discoveries and the work of other people. We need to step back kind of sometimes and look what we can learn from others, how we can develop some particular skills and train them individually. So kind of this in a certain point when you work yourself, right, you will notice like you have a lack in a certain aspects. This might be like perspective, anatomy, or shading, color theory, and a lot more. And it's like can be more like, you know, like storytelling, or like, or maybe you want to make like a comic book about medieval, but you lack of history knowledge, right? So you need to go and buy some books about it, watch some documentaries. You need to start to learn this topic, kind of, right? So, and even like you might be confused and like not sure like how to build your art career, kind of, right? So you can go explore other artists' life paths, kind of, you know, maybe some interesting insights and stuff like this. So you just need to go and learn some specific subjects here. Like I write, for example, it's just a lot of stuff. It's really a lot, and I don't want to spend. It will be too much, kind of too busy to write all this because it's too broad. Again, just imagine like how many stuff it might be, and this is some kind of like a stuff like you can let's say this word, forget this word. It's like to-do list, kind of, right? So like, and more you cover, better you become in general. And it's like when you know perspective, it helps you learn anatomy. When you know anatomy, it helps you learn perspective faster. When you know perspective, it helps you faster learn how to draw vehicles, how to draw robots, how to draw architecture. No, because this, each of these things, they help each other, kind of. It's like it's very interconnected kind of structure, right? So this is important to understand. Like you need kind of all of them, and this is kind of challenge and trick here, because you, in a moment, in a process which is might take years, you need to focus on particular specific skill, but also you need to be aware of, like, you have about 20 such skills. So like you need to focus, learn anatomy, and then you need to focus, learn color theory and stuff like this. If you learn color theory, your perspective will not improve on its own. You need also take some time for study perspective. So yeah, it's kind of complicated, but just like be aware of fact of it. So yeah, so producing, right? Clarify what you do it. I mean, this, and this is why I say about this first, because this must be first. Don't go to learning art before you start to make an art, before you start to do what you want to do. Because like learning and being better, it's should be like you know, appear from your like existing process. You should already do something, right? Because if you take it opposite, if you start to learn without being creative, without sitting and making something you want to make, you will lost. Because you can lost in this kind of negative feedback loop when you will never get to point when you're ready to create. So if you will want to learn to point when you will be ready. Okay, now I finally learned, so I can start to do art. No, you will never ready, and you will always frustrated, disappointed, and discouraged. So you need to start making, and then you, like I say, you will like fine tune and review like your mistakes, your flaws. So then, talking about training, right? So, like I say, you choose specific kind of subject, and you start working it. And here again, because I assume you're not genius like me, so it helps to find art community. And even if it's not physical community, like if you don't have ability like to go to good art college where it's really good quality art community, not some crazy communist, so, or if you don't have some kind of like workshops in your area or in your city, okay, you can join some community in internet, you know, like this YouTube channel. Here you can talk about improvement, about art. I give you names, I give you links. It's kind of like source of this information. And even if you don't have internet, you know, reading books is also this kind of like virtual art community. You just join in this world of artists, right? Because this kind of egregor of artists. So in a real life, you can go to best if you meet real people, right? Like with real professionals, real like motivated and like energetic people. And also it's a virtual, it's about these books, internet and stuff. You need to dive into this world, because without being like into this context, you will lack of material to make proper analysis of your work, of your process. You just don't have language, you don't have this like concepts which will give you like proper like understanding what is happening in your work, what should you do, how can you improve and stuff. You just cannot be efficient without having this like this knowledge. No, again, like as a average person, not as a genius. Genius is other thing. And because you need to watch tutorials on you see it on YouTube, it means you're not genius. Just let's face true. So training. So self-education and art is like training in martial arts. You practice basic concepts and techniques, not for pleasure or effect, but to master theory through repetitive, methodical practice. So your focus is not the result. It's not like final product, art project, or item, or attention for your work. No, your focus is this development of your skills, right? So, yeah, all great works stem from excellence in basic disciplines. So you need to develop this basic essential skills. So, yeah, here also mention it again, like I always say, like every education, it's about self-education. So, yeah, as teacher, it will be like not right for me to say this, like you need to learn yourself, right? But as a student, or as like just anyone like who want to be better in something, right? Of course you should to be aware about this. Like you need to take responsibility of yourself and like quality of your work, right? So every time it's about self-education. So let me. So in here also talking about this like training aspects, what I also talking about is it's about in art it's the same like any other discipline. And here I like this video from Ted Ed talking about this. Let's watch it.
Mastering any physical skill, be it performing a pirouette, playing an instrument, or throwing a baseball, takes practice. Practice is the repetition of an action with the goal of improvement, and it helps us perform with more ease, speed, and confidence. So what does practice do in our brains to make us better at things? Our brains have two kinds of neural tissue, gray matter and white matter. The gray matter processes information in the brain, directing signals and sensory stimuli to nerve cells, while white matter is mostly made up of fatty tissue and nerve fibers. In order for our bodies to move, information needs to travel from the brain's gray matter down the spinal cord through a chain of nerve fibers called axons to our muscles. So how does practice or repetition affect the inner workings of our brains? The axons that exist in the white matter are wrapped with a fatty substance called myelin, and it's this myelin covering or sheath that seems to change with practice. Myelin is similar to insulation on electrical cables. It prevents energy loss from electrical signals that the brain uses, moving them more efficiently along neural pathways. Some recent studies in mice suggest that the repetition of a physical motion increases the layers of myelin sheath that insulates the axons. And the more layers, the greater the insulation around the axon chains, forming a sort of superhighway for information connecting your brain to your muscles. So while many athletes and performers attribute their successes to muscle memory, muscles themselves don't really have memory. Rather, it may be the myelination of neural pathways that give these athletes and performers their edge with faster and more efficient neural pathways. There are many theories that attempt to quantify the number of hours, days, and even years of practice that it takes to master a skill. While we don't yet have a magic number, we do know that mastery isn't simply about the amount of hours of practice. It's also the quality and effectiveness of that practice. Effective practice is consistent, intensely focused, and targets content or weaknesses that lie at the edge of one's current abilities. So if effective practice is the key, how can we get the most out of our practice time? Try these tips. Focus on the task at hand. Minimize potential distractions by turning off the computer or TV and putting your cell phone on airplane mode. In one study, researchers observed 260 students studying. On average, those students were able to stay on task for only 6 minutes at a time. Laptops, smartphones, and particularly Facebook were the root of most distractions. Start out slowly or in slow motion. Coordination is built with repetitions, whether correct or incorrect. If you gradually increase the speed of the quality repetitions, you have a better chance of doing them correctly. Next, frequent repetitions with allotted breaks are common practice habits of elite performers. Studies have shown that many top athletes, musicians, and dancers spend 50 to 60 hours per week on activities related to their craft. Many divide their time used for effective practice into multiple daily practice sessions of limited duration. And finally, practice in your brain in vivid detail. It's a bit surprising, but a number of studies suggest that once a physical motion has been established, it can be reinforced just by imagining it. In one study, 144 basketball players were divided into two groups. Group A physically practiced one-handed free throws, while Group B only mentally practiced them. When they were tested at the end of the 2-week experiment, the intermediate and experienced players in both groups had improved by nearly the same amount. As scientists get closer to unraveling the secrets of our brains, our understanding of effective practice will only improve. In the meantime, effective practice is the best way we have of pushing our individual limits, achieving new heights, and maximizing our potential.
Yeah, so point here is it's not just muscle memory. It's creating neuron network, which is became kind of your intuition. Let's say this what is actually people always refer to when they say intuition. No, it's your subconsciousness. It's your so-called default neural network. Yeah, default brain. So so here what I want to say, it's important to clearly distinct creativity and learning, or I here define it to more kind of efficient ways. Let's say creativity, producing, right? So when you're in a creative mode, it's about making this final work. And this kind of this case, when how you do it, it's secondary. So you can like cheat or making shortcuts or whatever, what tools you use, it's details. You can have lack of skills in anything, like so many iconic works have some lack of essential kind of like problems with perspective, or like zero anatomy or something like this. We have a lot of examples, or even like some iconic singers like who have like super amazing performance while having horrible voice. They're not opera singers at all. It's like they kind of like have this, like on a scale from 10 their voice is a 1. You can hear it, but it sounds horrible. And somehow performance is amazing because it's about impact. So, and this is very big distinction between creativity, when you're focused on effect, on the final result, and training, when you're focused on development skill. So like in this video they say perfect practice, right? It's like when there is a known proper way to execute thing, like, and you practice to develop like experience of doing it correct, right? So it's like in a calligraphy, you will like carefully like write characters again and again to create muscle memory, neural network, and by repetition you will establish this like strong connections within your neural network. So it will happen automatically. It will go into your subconsciousness, and then you will do it like intuitively, naturally, like after 10 years, without even thinking about it, right? It will become your like default state when you're doing high skill performance by default, because you train your brain and body for this high level quality, right? So producing, creating, your aim is to make effect on audience. And again, it's like also make clear definition. It's like, it's not like you want people like your work. No, it's about make them experience something. Some artists, they want people experience like horror or sadness, or they want like provoke people, provoke viewers. So whatever effect you want make on people, key here is like, if you're able to do it consciously, then you're really professional, then you're a good artist, because you know exactly how to manipulate viewer emotions, how to put them in a certain experience, emotional experience, in certain state of mind even, So, and the kind of paradox here, so it's like even you focus on result, still like crucial quality of such state, such mode kind of in which you work, crucial quality, it's to enjoy process. Because to get this result which will work, which will be like impactful, it's only possible when a creator kind of, he in a flow state, when he's kind of enjoying, he need to be like, like a jazzing, like you really need to be like carried away by process, So, and the challenge here, it's how to do like very complex hard work while you enjoy it. So it's kind of like you being children working with very complex and fine tools and doing like really hard work. So it's not kind of happy all the time. It's not about feeling great and stuff. It's just about being kind of thrilled. So you're just so much into it, so you can go through discomfort of a hard process or like challenging, like when you feel like really like, oh, I think I will like I'm not able to do it, you know, like, oh, like I will be humiliated, and like it's so many stuffs like trying to jump over your head and stuff like this. So you can watch, there's some movies about this, like recent was really nice movie series about making Godfather movie called Offer. I think it's HBO, I'm not sure. So it's really cool example of this, how much it's crazy work being done, but people who making this work, they just love it. They really like it feels meaningful, you know. So this kind of thing also is like George Lucas, I think he call it hard fun. So it's like you having fun, but it's not easy. It's not like playing games on a computer. It's really like exhausting, and it's really require your focus and work. So, and other kind of mode is training, and it's like I say, it's like a gym, right? It's like a gym setting. Producing, creating is art studio setting. Training, it's a gym setting. So here you focus on working on particular skills. So it's, let's say, if like martial arts, like boxing, something like it's a rope jumping, running, working on a punch bag. So it's kind of a lot of possible isolated exercises, right? Also, you need to read books. Like people sometimes surprise, like you want to improve in the martial arts, you need to read books, you know. So purpose here, like you're developing skills. You don't care how it looks. You don't want to show it for someone. You don't want to make exhibition of this. It's not for Instagram. It's not for art gallery. You don't make it with a purpose to sell it. No. So you don't need to worry of how it looks like. Right? So you don't need to worry about quality as art. It's not art. You are not artist here. You're just training. You just practice. So yeah, like I show in the video, you are train your neural network. You develop your brain. You develop your professional self, creating this subconsciousness, which became artistic vision. You know, so when people look on this artworks on your work or whatever, like, and they say like, wow, you're so talented, oh, it looks like so easy, or like, oh, you have something special. Yeah, all these things, it's result of develop skills and develop yeah, this kind of knowledge and skills which make you able to do something exceptional. All this about being talented magically kind of it's absolutely pointless, and it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Так. So yeah, here I just will share some my other points. So like how to search for information, right? So let's say you want to learn, like you want to find some books, materials, or tutorials, workshops. You need to just look for names. Like if they're your favorite artist, listen who he mentioned, who is his teachers, who is his favorite artist, what kind of authors he read, because what they do came from these sources. They always, like, everybody follows somebody. So like you have your parents, you have your teachers, you have your masters who you look at, right? Same, your masters and your parents, they have somebody too, like who they've been looked to, who been their influence. So this is like most efficient kind of and proper way of learning. It's going by people, follow people, kind of what they look to, who they read, and don't don't let it go through your ears, kind of, right? Like, write all this. So let's say like Hayao Miyazaki, like his best friend was Akira Kurosawa, right? Then you look like what Akira Kurosawa say, and you will hear a lot of stuff what Miyazaki don't say, but he thinks same way. So you can listen Akira Kurosawa and you will better understand what is happening in the head of Hayao Miyazaki. You know what I mean? So go and explore, follow names, and make kind of charts and what are like mind maps. So every time I watch lectures or I listen some informative interview or whatever, like I will write notes. I will make, like if I read some good book, I make a mind map, and I put like all book structure in a mind map, because I want to have like full picture in front of me. I want to be able to go from beginning to end, like, you know, and see all connections. Because if you just read and listen and you have this like linear movement, you already forget what was in the beginning. You cannot recall what was in the middle. So, or you need to make some like quotes, notes in your notepad, or like a best way when you really learn something important, just make mind map. You can make on a computer or on a paper, and it's not about using it all the time. I mean, like I'm making a lot of these mind maps, and I never going back to them. It just helped me in the process, because I sit and I think how to how better to organize this map. Then I see like a author, he repeats something, and I see here, okay, he repeated again, he rephrases same thing, but I like this new definition better. Or then I see he talking about different stuff, but then I see like, oh, I can put them under one category. So this creates my own understanding of what he's talking about. I'm not just kind of like trying to be like a camera and a photograph like all these pictures he's showing me, right? I want to understand it myself, and making mind map, yeah, it's really like a great tool. Really recommend it. So yeah, so we can say like again, it's just talking about same stuff, right? Like you making practice, having a routine. It's about creating good habits. So, and when you create this, develop a neural network, when you have this muscle memory and neural network, now it's became your need and desire. Now this, you know, like this your new self start to have like a new necessities. It's like say like, hey, you need to practice. Like if you don't practice, you feel like horrible. It's like if you're not read, you feel like you're losing something in your life, you know. So this kind of how it works. You need to create new habits, and these new habits, it will be much more efficient yourself. Like I say, yeah, you need to have schedule, like dedicated time for learning, for practice, and for creating work. Also, you need to physical exercise. Really important, you know, all this nonsense. I even consider it some kind of like destructive propaganda to tell like people you can be artists without physical training, without being like healthy and strong. I think it's propaganda. I don't believe it's natural. It's a nonsense. So, like any other job, right? Like if you sit all day, you in one pose all day, you know, like this. Imagine like after 10, 20 years, you will be just. It kind of also clogging your brain. You will not like kind of open-minded anymore. It's bad. It's not good. You need to do some physical training, go to some gym or running in the morning, or just move your body to avoid of making this professional deformation when you have this kind of muscle blocks and something like this, you know. Also, don't be weak. It's no good. Yeah. Wait a second. Oh, that's the video here. Wait a second. It's not on the screen. Anyway, so this presentation or this text will be also in my Discord channel, so if you remember, can read it, and links, everything will be there. So here I can like recommend 3 books, which I think is really crucial, really important. Like again, like from my point of view, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read this like 20 years ago, maybe. You know, you cannot imagine in what kind of limited kind of circumstances I've been. I'm some kind of from very small city in a Russian province, and have no idea what to do kind of in my life. And then I was reading this like 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People, and it just gave me this like a very good framework about like how to organize myself, you know, what should I focus on. Really great stuff, really recommend it, especially like for young people and stuff. War of Art, also like very small book, but you must read it ASAP, kind of, right? It's like give you most important points, like really helpful. Robert Heinlein, Starship Troopers, really great stuff, really great stuff. Just it's sci-fi,